What's up everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am finally back with another Married at First Sight recap. It's been like 2, maybe 3 weeks since I watched the show, so I just jumped into the latest episode, and let's just say I'm a little bit disappointed to see that the couples, most of them, are still on the same issues I left them at like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was a little bit disappointing. So to start off with, Brett is still so damn annoying and condescending towards Olivia. She was trying to voice her opinions about how, hard it was for her to decide to move into Brett's home. She goes, his house is the obvious choice because he owns it, but it's not that convenient because it would extend my commute time, and I don't exactly love that. And he was just so sarcastic the whole time. He goes, oh, like, so irresponsible, buying a home. Oh my God, all that equity. Ooh, like, dude, calm down. You bought a home. Congratulations. You're like 30 something years old. Like, you're not the first person to do this. People do this younger than you. Relax. Meanwhile, Woody opening up to Amani about how devastated he was when he realized that his relationship with his father, who was in and out of jail his entire life, was, finally over, really touched me. I am week after week impressed with how vulnerable he is willing to be with his new wife. And for Amani to tell him, that's okay, you've got 2 dads now. Chef's kiss. This couple is it for me. Now, it feels like the walls are finally starting to come down between Henry and Christina. He's actually showing some sort of personality these days, cracking a little bit of jokes here and there. And then we're quickly transported back to Olivia and Brett. I love her holding Brett's feet to the fire about, how she feels as though he is performing for the experts sometimes versus actually being real with her. She felt like the stuff he said about her in front of Dr. Viviana was beautiful and everything, but then she wonders, why would you not say something like that to me personally? Like, is this you just putting on for the cameras, or is this a real you? I'm having a really difficult time understanding. Instead of simply reassuring his wife that he is 100% there for her and that he was going to start being more open with her one-on-one versus just waiting for the experts to come around to share how he truly feels about her, Brett gets super sarcastic per usual and condescending, and he even outright calls her insecure, which in my opinion was a very low blow. He's constantly digging at this poor girl, and it's quite tough to watch. I truly feel bad for Olivia in this coupling. It feels as though she was sold short by the experts. And speaking of feeling bad for one half of a coupling, I also feel quite bad for Henry, because he opened up to Christina about how a lack of self-confidence is his biggest thing that challenges him in life and that he's trying to get over, and that it came from him being bullied when he was younger because he was so big, his weight was yo-yoing all over the place. And she basically told him, at what point do you kind of just get over it? Like, are you still on this? And then to us, she really went in. She's like, I mean, listen, he's like 30 something years old. Like, come on, move on. Like, maybe I can help him just move on at this point. She could have been a lot more gentle with him, but I also do kind of feel the same way as her, like, we were all bullied when we were young, and life goes on, like, it's been what, 30 years since this happened to you? You're no longer overweight. See a therapist or whatever, but you do have to move on eventually. I feel really insensitive saying that, but I also get Christina's frustrations. Like, the fact that this stuff that happened when you were 5 or 6 years old is still holding you back from getting to know your current wife. Why even sign up for this show if you're not going to move on from your quote-unquote traumas or whatever it is? You know what I mean? Henry never should have signed up for the show, because it's not Christina's job to be his therapist. Yes, she was insensitive in the way that she spoke to him, but I do also kind of agree with her there to either move on or work on yourself and then try to find a wife or a partner when you feel confident enough to bring something to the relationship, because so far Henry has been bringing literally nothing. To really add insult to injury, Christina then went on to list a lack of confidence as her biggest deal breaker, which to me felt like the ultimate targeted jab towards Henry. And I just wonder, are you guys on the same team or are you not? It's really cringeworthy to see this. It's like she literally does not want this marriage to work. Henry was obviously extremely hurt by it, and he even said to us in his talking head that he was disappointed by her response. And to be honest with you guys, I do in some capacity feel as though Christina purposely bullies Henry and then pretends to act shocked about the fact that he refuses to open up to her. This is like this, you know, first of all, it started with the whole he doesn't travel. She had to tell everybody he doesn't travel to kind of demean him and act like she was like this bougie, like high roller above him. And then when it comes to like the pursuer stuff, she's always like rubbing it in. Like, I'm not used to this. This is so abnormal. Oh my God, you know, dealing with him. That obviously also makes him feel bad as if he's the only person in the world who's never been full force with her or whatever. And then she also pretty much ridiculed his apartment, both in front of him and in her talking heads and in a episode after the apartment visit. So she constantly is making these horrible digs towards her husband. So in my opinion, she comes across as a bully wife, and it makes me quite sad for Henry. Guys, I don't understand Olivia's attitude at the cocktail class. She and Brett were making cocktails side by side. Brett's was not turning out perfect, which is fine. You're at a cocktail class, no one's an expert. And then she goes, I could drink yours, like if you don't like it or whatever. And he goes, I mean, it's alcohol, which is what, like, I feel like I probably would have said too, like, you know, it might not be gorgeous, but it's alcohol. I'm going to drink it. Don't worry. And then after that, she goes like this. She's like angry and she's sourpuss and she refuses to like quote unquote lean in, you know what I mean? Not like literally lean in, but lean into the coupledom of the experience together after that. And I felt like, listen, earlier on in the episode, she was coming at Brett for the facial expressions he makes towards her. She feels as though they're condescending, etc. But Olivia, you make quite a few awful facial expressions yourself. This cocktail class being a great example of it. But also when Brett was showing you his home, he was very proud and excited to show you his home. And the whole time, Olivia was walking through the home like, you know, she would never crack a smile. She never complimented him on literally anything. So I think that in this case, she does have to look in the mirror in terms of that critique that she has towards Brett. Because in my opinion, she's got that same problem. Like, her face says everything she's thinking. And sometimes it's just downright rude, the expressions that she makes. And again, I don't think Brett said anything like off the wall to her. He said, it's alcohol, I'll drink it. You know, she could have laughed it off and kept it moving, but no, she had to be grouchy grouch for the rest of the class. And then after it, she had to nag him again about the conversation they were having earlier about whether or not he was being genuine with her. It's like, girl, we just finished a cocktail class. I don't want to talk about this right now. Like, there's a time and a place, but she constantly has to bring up issues again and again and again. And I don't really see this with other people on the show, so I can see why Brett would find her annoying at the very least. And this is not me claiming that Brett is perfect. I tell you guys every recap, this guy does come across like really condescending and insecure and like I wouldn't want him as a partner, but Olivia's not perfect either. We then get a little bit of a crossover as Henry goes out with Bennett for beers to discuss the state of their unions, and Bennett talks about his potential move with Amelia. Guys, I'm so tired of this couple's one storyline. We get it. The girl might get matched out of town. Move on. Surely you've got something else to share with us. I'm over this couple at this point. And then Henry opens up about how much Christina's dig at his confidence hurt him. And Bennett's advice to Henry was really beautiful to me. And it just felt so genuine. And I loved that for Henry, getting that little bit of reassurance from a friend. So Bennett basically just tells Henry, listen, I actually think that your ability to be really introspective and to find fault within yourself and to admit fault within yourself is a display of confidence, and you should be proud of that. And I just felt like, you know what, I think that that is something that Henry truly needed to hear. So I am glad that he did hear it, though I do wish that it came from his wife, but instead his wife was like, dude, how old are you? Get over it. And then she later threw it up in his face when she said that that was her biggest turnoff as well. So it just sucks, you know, when you get a right message, wrong messenger. Not that there's anything wrong with getting it from a friend, but that's the type of reassurance that Henry needs from his wife, of all people. So Henry returns home and Christina basically tells him that she complained to her mom about not being attracted to him. I was like, this girl truly is a freaking, I don't know how to describe her. She's a riot. She comes home, she already knows this guy feels bad about his lack of self-confidence. She goes, listen, Henry, I was talking to my mom, you know, and she was telling me he's a nice guy. So So why aren't you feeling it or whatever? Which obviously implies that she was telling her mom that she's not attracted to this guy. And I'm like, way to kick this guy when he is down. I don't know, is she like a sadist or something like that? Or is it a masochist? I don't know the difference between these two, but like the one that gets off on other people being in pain, because she truly does love to keep on kicking this guy. And for me, again, I feel like she bullies him as a wife. She then asks him if he wants to be a more confident person. And this is where, again, I get annoyed with Henry. Henry goes, I'm not gonna lie and tell you it's on the top list of my priorities. Well, dude, this is the thing that stops you from having relationships. You told the expert you can't have a relationship. You've never really had a relationship because you're not a confident person. You've got like limited experience with intimacy because of this. Clearly your current marriage isn't going to work out because of this. And you mean to tell your wife, who keeps trying to connect with you, yes, she is a bit of a douche. Yes, she does, in my opinion, bully him sometimes. Yes, but she also has tried to connect with him and has tried to tell him what she likes and everything. This guy doesn't want to improve anything. He's like, it's not a top priority for me. Again, Henry, why are you here? You need to be with like a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a therapist, anyone but a wife. Like, this is clearly not the right time for you. And there's nothing wrong with the timing being off, but don't waste her time. Don't waste other people's time. Like, at this point, I'm kind of done with Henry too, you guys. Like, it's not just Christina who sucks in this marriage. Henry is perfectly content with being a victim his entire life. And yeah, that's a turnoff to pretty much anybody. But anyway, you guys, those are just my thoughts on the latest episode of Married at First Sight. But as usual, I'm more excited to hear what you have to say about everything. So please make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.